Hello YouTube, my name's Chris and I am trying to be happy. With all this coronavirus stuff going on, it can be kind of hard. Being stuck at home, being in your thoughts, it can definitely drive even people that aren't depressed into a state of depression. I've seen it on my friends list on Facebook, and it's even those people that, have dealt with mental illness for years. This has been especially hard for a lot of those people because everybody kind of starting to feel like they're isolated, even socially, to the point where they're not able to reach out. It's almost like just because you can't see somebody, it's almost like you can't talk to them. And it feels like, I'm sure a lot of people feel like they're alone right now. I know myself, I've reached out to several friends in different circles of friends that I have, and just reached out and made sure everybody was getting through this okay, and that mentally they were okay. But it was also for my own mental health. For me, it was good to reach out and know that everybody was doing good, because it kind of reassured me that we will get through this. I've dealt with depression and anxiety pretty much my whole life. Going back to when I was around 9 years old. I've got a lifetime of coping with it and learning to deal with it on my own. I've sought help before. I've had counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists. I've been on medication. Counseling and the psychologists and stuff, I learned a lot of coping mechanisms through them that I've still to this day rely on to get through a lot of things. I guess the biggest one would be breathing. Whenever you get, a lot of anxiety or overwhelmed by what's going on, just taking a second and taking some deep breaths. And there was a specific way they told me to do it, but I've kind of found for myself, if I don't think about it as much as I just breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth, full. And I just do that over and over and just focus on that breathing itself until I feel that sense of calmness and relief. And whenever, you get overwhelmed, sometimes this helps. And right now, these are some very overwhelming times. I know a lot of people are definitely stressing over how they're going to go through this financially. I wish I had the answers. I wish I was smart enough and, good enough, economist or something to tell everybody, here's how we're going to get through this. But, as of right now, I'm like everybody else. I'm just worried, what's the economy going to be like after this is done? But even more so, I'm worried about, with us reopening the economy, how many more people will get sick. And I just want to remind everybody that, if you are working, be proactive on your health. Be proactive on staying safe, because at the end of the day, you got to look out for yourself. You're the only one doing it. So, your jobs may give you PPE, but don't be afraid to try to hunt some down for yourself. Don't always rely on the fact that they've got it, because they may run out. It's been crazy times. I guess I should kind of explain what I'm doing here. Originally, my first video, I was gonna try to explain my channel, explain what I'm doing here. But with everything going on, I felt like it would be more important to put out this video discussing how I'm getting through quarantine and being isolated. As you can see, I'm in my truck. I did some driving today. Haven't gotten out of my truck, haven't been in public, just been driving around. For a lot of people, that can be very therapeutic, just getting out in your car, listening to some music and seeing something outside of your house. I've been doing this every few days, actually, just getting out and driving around for 30 minutes to an hour and going home. But anyway, what I'm doing here is, for a few months now, I've decided and been thinking on this, and what I'm doing is I want to start really getting serious about my journey to happiness. And I will make a video truly explaining out the premise of my channel, but that is, in a nutshell, what I'm doing. I'm going to be basically journaling through videos my life, my happiness, my depression, my anxiety, my struggles, my successes, if I have any, I hope. It's just one of those things where I've learned through my life that I'm not the only one that copes by themselves. I'm not the only one that, you know, is afraid to reach out to others, or just, you know, prefers even dealing with it by themselves. You know, for me, there's a lot of things I don't like reaching out on. There's a lot of things that I feel like I can handle through just, you know, kind of thinking it out on my own. But it is nice sometimes, you know, to reach out, and there are times I do have to reach out to friends and family, and it's important to have those people. And right now, even more so, you know, it goes back to a lot of people are feeling isolated and away from everybody, like they can't talk to people. You know, reach out to those people that, you know, your friends and family are still your friends and family, even if you're not getting to see them right now. Call them, text them, video chat with them. You know, do all these things to try to bring yourselves closer and to remind you that you're not alone. You know, we are, like a lot of people have said, we're alone in this together. Everybody, you know, is kind of isolated right now. Even those that are going to work are kind of going home and not really doing much else other than working home, trying to just avoid contact, you know, as much as possible. And, you know, it's just important that people remember that they still have their support networks. You know, if you're that support network for somebody, reach out. If you know somebody in your life struggles, reach out. Make sure that, you know, you're checking in on those people. Make sure that, you know that they're not alone, even if physically they are. For me, like I said, this is going to be a little bit about how I'm getting through this. For me, this is day, who even knows anymore, is like a month into quarantine, or stay at home, whatever they want to call it. Just like everybody else, I need a haircut bad. That's why I'm wearing the hat. Shout out to Steve Kinzer, you know, greatest sprint car driver ever, or one of. But anyway, you know, this thing's taken a long time, and I know about a week and a half ago, you know, I was doing good for the most part through a lot of this. I was staying on top of myself, on top of my mindset, and about a week and a half ago, I woke up and I was really depressed, and you know, the isolation was starting to get to me. I've always been kind of an introverted person, so being by myself isn't necessarily hard usually. But even with that being said, it is nice to go out and hang out with friends. It is nice to be at work and interacting with my customers that you know, I've grown to you know, have friends with a lot of them, you know. And it's just one of those things where it's a very different world right now, and it's a very challenging world mentally for a lot of people. And I just wanted to say, you know, you're not alone. You're not alone in being depressed. You're not alone in being anxious or stressed. We all are. Everybody that I've talked to has at some point so far dealt with something, you know, that this has caused them mentally. Some sort of, you know, just, you know, whatever you want to call it, mental anguish, grief, you know, little depression, whatever. You know, everybody's kind of been worried about it in some way and somehow. And it's just important to know that, you know, you're not alone. And that's what a lot of my channel is going to be about moving forward too, is, you know, I've dealt with, you know, long story short, you know, like I said, I've dealt with a lot of mental issues. But I've also dealt with a physical disability since I was 16. So it's one of those things where I've kind of got some life experiences and dealing with some things that you might feel alone going through them at the time, but you start to learn that, you know, a lot of people in this world, so there's a lot of people that deal with the same stuff. How I'm getting through this though, even though I do have a little bit of a physical disability, it's not very obvious at first glance, but it affects my nerves, which affects the way my muscles function. So I'm just pretty much skinny as all heck. But I started working out. That day I woke up depressed. I decided that, you know, one of the best things I ever did in my life was when I was in high school. I started working out with my dad. We were going to the gym like 5 times a week for like a full year there. And I felt so good. And, you know, I started, you know, doing some research, and it's the, you know, the endorphins it releases, most notably, you know, the dopamine, which is, you know, that reward chemical. It makes you feel good, you know. And what I found through this quarantine is, you know, we've all been kind of stuck at home, so it's easy to be sedentary. And, so working out has kind of helped getting my blood flow going, but it also has helped release some of those, you know, endorphins, and that has helped keep my mindset, you know, kind of clear and on a happier, you know, vibe, so to speak. You know, it's all mindset, you know, it's always about mindset. You got to wake up with the mindset of you're going to be happy today. And it's hard. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to try to dress things up for this channel. I'm going to be raw about it. I'm going to, you know, this is only the start. I'm going to be doing this for, you know, on a regular basis. This can become kind of like my journal, you know. So there will be days you'll see me depressed. There will be days, you know, like today I said, you know, I'm trying to be happy, because I can't say I'm happy today. It's kind of one of those days I'm in between, you know. I'm trying to be happy. I'm on the mindset of being happy, but I'm not necessarily happy. And that's why I got out today. I did my workout earlier. I took a shower, got in my truck, and I went driving. I've been driving for a good 30 minutes before I started this video up. And, you know, it did a lot of good for me, you know, just that little things, you know, but you feel like you kind of accomplished something, you know, even if it is something small. Right now it's really easy to kind of not be productive, and I've definitely been less than productive through all this. And that was kind of part of it too, is, you know, I'm trying to start, you know, this path to happiness, this journey to happiness. And I feel like some of that starts physically, you know, and I even started my spiritual journey to happiness the beginning of this year. I started, you know, trying to get back with my walk with God. I am a Christian. Not going to say religion is something that's needed to be happy. I know a lot of atheists that are happy, but for me, I find a lot of peace and solace in religion. So it's something that for me I'm working on, and but also at the same time I'm working on just trying to overall be happy. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you know, it's a journey. It's not really a destination. It's something that you have to work on every day. And so I'm starting to work on it in every way. You know, it goes back to I'm not really physically strong or anything like that. So when it comes to workouts, you know, I'm doing basic stuff, you know, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, you know, just trying to, you know, go from there, you know, start somewhere. It always starts somewhere, but even just a little bit of effort goes a long way. You know, I'm pushing myself a little bit, but I'm not trying to hurt my body or anything. I've already got enough pain, you know, nerve pain throughout the day. Not trying to, you know, increase that, but I am, you know, have noticed that this last week and a half, getting the blood flow going, it's been helping. You know, it goes back to, I've been driving every few days, and that helps a lot. You'd be surprised at how much just driving around for a few minutes can really help clear your mind and kind of remind you that there is a world outside your four walls that we will get back to. You know, sorry, this is probably kind of a jumbled mess, first video, and I'm not real comfortable on camera. Found a decent little spot to just kind of park up and film this real quick. But you know, it's going forward, you know, like I said, I'm gonna release a video kind of truly explaining out what my channel is going to be about, kind of going a little bit more in depth. Definitely gonna have some videos going more in depth with my, you know, life stories, you know, as far as dealing with the mental illness at even such a young age, you know, starting kind of at the you know, the beginning, when it all kind of first started hitting. This is not going to be, you know, I don't want to mislead anybody with anything. This isn't necessarily going to be a happy videos all the time. It's not necessarily going to be something enjoyable all the time, but it's definitely going to be something that I hope a lot of people can pull away from. You know, I want to, like I've told a couple people, I've only talked to a couple people about doing this, and like I told them, I don't care if I help a million people or 10 people or one person. If I help somebody, it's worth it. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from on this. Is I've got life experience on dealing with depression. I'm going to try to share that, try to help others. Starting with this, you know, start finding ways to be productive in your life. You know, you can find ways that don't really necessarily require you put out a lot of effort that will help you come out of this with a more positive mindset. You know, starting with your mindset, you know, start thinking happy, start telling yourself to be happy, you know, stop dwelling on the things that upset you. You know, that's something I struggle with a lot. I dwell on a lot of things and it kind of recurs and kind of seems to be the same things that depress me over and over again because I tend to dwell on them, but I'm working on that actively. And it's how it starts. You got to start somewhere, start actively working on it, start actively working on your mindset, you know, and it's why I start working out. It's why I've been keeping up with my working out, because it started. It's time to keep up with it. It's like this YouTube thing. Started it now. I'm going to try to keep up with it. I want to start, you know, doing things for my own happiness. You know, every day now I'm starting to set little goals for myself to kind of work in positive directions. So like tomorrow, I'm going to start, you know, working on one of my hobbies again. There's a lot of hobbies I've had over the years that I've just kind of stopped doing. And I think tomorrow I'm going to spend at least an hour, you know, practicing street magic again. You know, sometimes little things like that, little skills like that make you feel good. You know, even if you're not performing for a lot of people or anything like that, sometimes just knowing it and practicing it and having something to, you know, fidget with your hands with, you know, it feels good. I'm not saying you should go and learn magic. I'm just saying hobbies right now is a perfect time to get into your hobbies, get back into hobbies, find things that make you happy. You know, maybe Google things that you want to do after this quarantine's done, after everything calms back down and social distancing's, you know, a joke of the past kind of a thing, you know. You know, don't let this get to you. You know, I know it's real easy when people get depressed, it's real easy to start getting suicidal. Obviously I've been there. It's one of those things where this is not the time to put your family through that. This is not the time to really do that. It's not worth it right now. Everything looks pretty bad, and I know there's a lot of people that are struggling in, you know, a lot of ways right now, but as a country, we will get through this. As a world, we will get through this. You know, this whole world has been hit by this, and the whole global economy has been hit by this. You know, people are freaking out about, you know, the U.S. economy right now, but the whole global economy is pretty messed up right now. And so it's kind of one of those things we have to kind of look at it and remind ourselves, we're all in this together. We're all alone together. You know, reach out to those that are in your support network. Reach out to your friends, your family. Make sure that everybody's doing okay. Remind them that they're not alone. You know, we will get through this. We are on, hopefully, the back end of all this. Hopefully, you know, everything's, you know, everybody's right and we're towards the end of it. But when we are done with this, definitely stay on top of your hygiene. Stay on top of keeping yourself safe, because it goes back to you're the only one doing it. So make sure that you're healthy. Make sure that you're safe. You know, keep your friends, family safe. Help them if you can. If you feel like you're going to like this kind of content, definitely, you know, subscribe. I'm going to be making a YouTube channel, or I'm be posting this on this YouTube channel, whatever. But subscribe. You know, like I said, I'm going to be posting some more. But I just wanted to start with what was going on, and that is this is some real stuff right now. This coronavirus thing ain't no joke as far as how it's affecting everybody. It's affecting everybody, whether they want it to or not. So it's just one of those times where we got to take a deep breath, remind ourselves that, you know, as crappy as it is, it's crappy for everybody. And just try to think positive. Try to think happy. Try to find the silver linings. For a lot of people, that's going to be spending time with their families. For me, it's going to be starting a serious workout regimen, as far as, trying to keep my physical health in shape. It's little silver linings like that are what help you find the good and the bad. It's one of those things where, I wouldn't have to be doing this journey of trying to find happiness if I was already happy. If I wasn't depressed my entire life, I wouldn't have felt the need to come on here and start sharing just how hard it can be to be happy. And I'm going to be sharing my journey. And if I'm not going to say it's a how-to guide on how to be happy, and I'm not going to say that little tricks and tips I give you that I've, found help me are going to for sure help you. I'm not a doctor, but they might, and at the very least, it might help you understand that, maybe your problems aren't that bad, or maybe your problems are worse than you're giving them credit for, or maybe just helps you remind you that everybody's got problems, you ain't the only one. And sometimes that kind of hurts. Sometimes it kind of, takes the spotlight away from you and you feel like people don't care, but that's not it. What it is because everybody has problems, everybody's able to help each other in different ways through their experiences. And that's what I'm going to be trying to do, is through my experiences of this journey, try to share maybe how to help you find some happiness and help you, start this journey for yourself. But anyway, I think it's a long video already. I'll try to edit some of this out, but I just want to say to everybody that we will get through this. You're not alone. If you're depressed, reach out to somebody. Don't do something stupid just because you're depressed right now. You should never do anything to yourself. You should never harm yourself. It's never okay. It's not like there's a right time to commit suicide. There's never a right time to commit suicide. But right now, above all, is not a good justification, because of the fact that, so many people are going to be trying to find ways through this. So many people are going to be reaching out to each other, I hope, to find ways to help each other. I'm hoping people will kind of find their way through this. So anyway, I'm Chris, trying to be happy. If you've watched this far, I really appreciate you. It means a lot, because this is my first video and I don't know if anybody's even going to care to watch it, let alone this far. So if you made it this far, if you want to leave a comment or a like or something, let me know. That'd be cool. But if not, I really don't care. This is really just kind of for my own benefit to start this. Trying to help as many as I can along the way, though. This is going to be about my personal journey to happiness, and I hope that I can help others find a way to find their own. We all deserve happiness in this life, no matter how big or small it might be. So just don't feel alone. Don't let your depression win. Reach out to people, whether you're the support network to help that person or you are that person. Reach out to each other. It's make sure that everybody's getting through this, because some people are struggling that never thought they would struggle. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be depressed. It's a strong emotion that's not a good one. So, find ways to keep your mind busy. Find ways to keep happy. For me, I play a lot of video games because they help keep my mind busy. But even I've noticed that, with everything, how long I've, been able to play now, it's really easy to just, for that not to work anymore. So, find little things to break up your routine. Go driving around. Go walk, socially distanced, of course. Maybe work out at your house. Play with your dogs or cats or whatever your animals may be. Get an animal if you don't have one. Find religion if you feel it If you're not religious, it's cool too. You know, all I'm saying is find something. Find just something to start your journey to be happy. Find a new hobby. Start an old hobby. Whatever it is. But I'll be back with y'all. And I'm Chris, trying to be happy. I'll see y'all later.